Y'all ready to do this? Because we about to do this. Uh, that's right. That's right. That's right. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. And I appreciate that. So without further ado, here I come. Here I is. It's your boy, Brian Redmond, and this is the Relationship Rehab and the United Guns of America, and we are about to do another breakdown. I just want to say thank you to everybody that has supported the channel, supported the movement. Peace to Soto Nation, my brother Tommy Sotomayor, and to my brother DJ Just J. Once again, it's on. We are about to do another breakdown, and this one is gonna be real interesting. I can promise you that. So, how y'all doing out there? I'm doing just fine. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. I did. I really enjoyed the show yesterday about the R. Kelly. We talked about Roberts for about, yes, I put an S on it. We talked about Roberts Kelly for about 2.5 hours, and it was definitely good. Definitely good. Good content. Good content. But I do want to say this first and foremost. I want to give a shout out to the first person in the chat, which is none other than Brother Skohar. Yes, Brother Skohar. Give a nice round of applause to Brother Skohar. There we go. Also, on the United Guns of America side of the game, those faithful few that's over there, I want to give a shout out to G Friend. Hit the like button on your way in. If this is your first time watching, click the subscribe button. Click the subscribe button, which is right there on the right side of the screen. It's a little button that says subscribe, and it's a little bell next to it. Click that, so every time I go live, you will know. So, thank you also to Katrina Hamilton for supporting the United Guns of America, which is my gun channel where I really talk about stuff like this. I do gun reviews, and I also talk about the a lot of the police breakdowns and shootings that occur. So, I've seen the movie Heat, which was pretty good. I saw the movie Lion's Den, which was pretty good as well. And I've come to the realization that a lot of police officers are watching too much goddamn TV. First and foremost, they watch just like the niggas that's out here doing this shit. Point Break, yep. We watching too much TV. The movies is the movies. The flicker shows, the motion pictures, that's what that's for, and that's separate. That don't transpire into real life. And I don't understand how people are making these decisions like that in the moment, and these people are supposed to be trained professionals. And the problem with this particular shooting is this. It's such a fine line between right and wrong, because you are, I always tell you this, you have to take into account being in the moment. It's all about the totality of the circumstances that you're in, which will determine your decision making. And once you make a decision, then there is, even if you change your decision later on, you change your mind, there's still a course of events that will and must take place. And when you make that decision, you have to take into account to say, well, if I go wrong, what the fallout's gonna be. And I think that that was one of the things that was missed here, because you have two sides. You got the police side saying, yeah, we know what we were doing because we trained professionals and we shot because we were shot at. And then you have the other side where it's like, well, damn, you had innocent people around the area surrounding this entire shooting, and you also had a hostage situation. So what do you do? Well, I'm going to tell you. But first and foremost, I want to read this warning. Warning, warning, warning. The following video contains disturbing content that may not be appropriate for some viewers. You have been warned. Okay? You have been warned. Okay, there we go. Now, let's get into the other part of this here, because this is there is some graphic content that is going to be displayed here. Yes. And then we're going to move on into this next piece, which is one of my favorite parts of the show. It's where we get to hear from my boo thing, my side chick, my other girl, my main girl, my girlfriend, my wife, and everything else. But let's go ahead and let's do that part. Come on, baby. Tell us what we about to do and why we got the right to do it. And in the meantime, while you talking, y'all know what I'm going to be doing. I'm sipping.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Now, did I tell y'all that I just got a little bit more refined? I don't remember if I did or not, but the way that you see me holding this glass, I just learned this shit maybe about 3 months ago. Shout out to my childhood homeboy Donnell Nesbitt for educating me on this. I did not know that you're supposed to hold a wine glass when you have wine in it by the stem or by the base. I did not know that. I don't know if y'all knew that or not, but I didn't. I can admit when I'm ignorant to something, and I was totally ignorant to that. But you are not supposed to hold. You're only supposed to hold a wine glass when it has wine in it by the stem, and or you're supposed to hold it by the base. And also too, yes, for those of you who may be wondering, this is some very fine, refined water for crystal. Water for crystal. Yes, if you don't know what water for crystal is, you look it up. It's very, very high class, highfalutin. I have very good friends in high places who allowed me to acquire such things as water for crystal. Yes. It's not diluted, sir. My wine is not diluted. My wine is very fine and very refined. It is just of a different kind. Yes, yes, yes. This is a passion fruit wine, which is why it is not of a red or burgundy color, sir. Yes, yes. And my pinky is up as I sip. Yes, indeed. Very good. But just in case y'all didn't know, my show just ain't about what's going on in the world and current events and all that stuff. It's also to educate you on life stuff. So for those of you who don't know, the next time you go somewhere, you are drinking some wine, hold the wine glass by the stem, or you hold it by the base. Yes, yes, yes. Very good. He said, I'm drinking kool-aid in this glass. Hey, I ain't above that now. I will post. Let me tell y'all something about this Kool-Aid before I get started. Y'all know I gotta talk a little shit. Let me tell you something about Kool-Aid. Now, a lot of people may not know this, so I'm gonna educate, especially some of my people that are not of a Negroid background, if you will. Yes. But there are only a good handful, even though Kool-Aid has a lot of flavors. And y'all gonna get with me and correct me if I'm wrong, but I know I ain't on this. This is true, undocumented, factual evidence coming from the book of Nigalations, chapter 12, verse 27. When it comes to Kool-Aid, you only have, although you see an array of flavors, there are only a few. And I'm going to name my favorites, and then I'll name a few acceptable options, and then I'll educate you on the rest. Now, first and foremost, one of the most classic, one of the best flavors of Kool-Aid is grape and lemonade. That is, I'm talking like you having a party, you got 40 people coming by and they want Kool-Aid. You need to have grape and lemonade on deck. It is the most acceptable flavor combination around the world. Everybody drinks grape and lemonade. Just saying. Then you have, and this is my second favorite, the what I call double cherry. That's 2 cherries with your sugar and all that stuff. The double cherry, let me see if I can increase my game. The double cherry is one of the acceptable flavors, and it is also known as a red. It's like wine. So you have red wine, you have white wine. Kool-Aid comes in colors. All right, you got purple, which is the grape and lemonade. Then you have a red, which is double cherry. I personally call it double cherry time. It's double cherry time. That's 2 cherries. There's another red, which is fruit punch. Okay? It's not one of my favorites, but it is an acceptable version. There's also a fruit punch and lemonade. All right? Gives you a little bit of that tang back there. My third favorite mixture is blue raspberry lemonade. Yes, blue raspberry lemonade. That is one flavor. Blue raspberry lemonade. Double that. Okay? All right. Now, those are my 3 flavors. If I go buy Kool-Aid at the store, if I go to the Piggly Wiggly, if I go to the Walter Mart, if I go and buy Kool-Aid, I'm coming back with those 3 combinations. Grape and lemonade, double cherry, and double blue raspberry lemonade. Now, here are some other acceptable flavors. You can do the orange. That's double orange. Just flat out double orange. You can do fruit punch with just about any of those other flavors, and it's okay. I just said I mixed the grape and lemonade. That's a given. You get the grape and the lemonade come together. That's the number 1 most acceptable flavor in Kool-Aid drinking. All right. Now, all of these other flavors where you have people just mixing shit, putting orange with fruit punch, putting raspberry with grape and all that, they are without a shadow of a doubt in complete and utter violation of Kool-Aid mixing. They are not Kool-Aidologists, and you should not trust them nor drink things that are in their home. Kool-Aid is very simple, and people that overcomplicate it are not to be trusted. That's all I got to say. I'm just saying. That's what that is. Okay? So we've gotten the Kool-Aid out of the way. Now, let's get on to this shooting. I'm sorry. So, and shout out to everybody that sent me this. There's a couple of people that sent it to me, but I think it was Terry that sent it to me as well. I think he was the first one that sent this to me. And I was going to do it yesterday, but then I got that whole R. Kelly thing in my spirit, and I had to do that. But I definitely wanted to do this when I saw the footage. I want to say that was Terry that sent that to me. I can't remember. I ain't gonna look at them now. But shout out to you for sending that to me. I appreciate all the info you got. And I went out and found some stuff too and came up with this. So here's what happened. Let me frame this up. 2 dudes of a dark hue, copper complexion or brown folk, niggas, essentially. They go and decide to rob a jewelry store. Okay? In the midst of them robbing the jewelry store, they went ahead and harmed the lady. They ended the old white lady that was in the jewelry store. She got hurt. And then these 2 niggas went off on a tangent and ran and hijacked a UPS truck with the UPS driver in the vehicle. These guys now take the UPS truck with the hostage and they're riding. They're driving. These 2 dudes, these assholes are, let me pull them up because I got their picture somewhere. off in my software. These two niggas that were doing some fuck shit and caused a whole bunch of triggers. And these two niggers caused two people to die. And that's why people hate these niggers. That's why, oh, why. So these two niggas right here, this is, what's the dude name? Lamar Alexander and Ronnie Hill. Those are those two niggas there. These guys are 41 years old, grown ass men, and they're cousins, all right? They're their first cousins, and they decide to go out and do this deed of robbing this jewelry store. They hurt this old white lady, take a man hostage, a UPS driver hostage, and they drive off. In the midst of that, these two right here, began shooting at the police during this high-speed chase. High-speed chase then runs into heavy traffic on the highway, and then on that highway, as that truck is stopped, there is a hail of gunfire exchanged, and not one, not two, not three, but 4 people are dead. These two niggas, innocent white guy, and of course the UPS driver who got killed as well. So let's go ahead and dive right in, and I want you guys to hear from this guy here, which is the guy who got killed. His name was Frank Ordonez. This is Frank Ordonez's stepfather, all right? And he's going to just give his account of what he's seen happen and how things are going for him and his family.
This is murder.
Say your sound is low. Maybe it's my cheap. How is my sound? Is my sound okay? Y'all let me know. I'm trying not to like turn it up too much to where it'll like start causing problems, but I'll turn it up a little bit, give it a little bit more gain if I can, a little bit more volume rather. I think I turned the gain up as good as it should go. Yeah, we can do that. Y'all let me know if sound is fine. Okay, cool. Sound is good. Cool. We moving forward. Let's do this.
This is murder. They could have stopped it. They could have prevented it. It could have been avoided.
We start, though, with the new details about that deadly UPS truck chase. The stepfather of the delivery driver who was killed speaking out once again. That stepfather has questions about the police response.
That's right. Some of those questions were addressed on This Week in South Florida. Local 10 News reporter Sanella Sabovic is live in Miramar tonight with this story. Sanella.
And Frank Ordonez's stepfather says that police could have handled this situation differently, and had they done so, maybe his stepson might still be alive.
Now, let me say this. I would be remiss if I did not say this. I would be remiss if I didn't say this. But you see this lady here, Sanella Sabovic. All right. You see her. She's well-dressed. And you can see the sister. She's well-dressed, too. Let me go back just a few frames. She is well-dressed. I think she has on a dress that is definitely acceptable. It looks nice on her. She looks nice. And you know, when I saw this, the first time I said, now she looks nice. But then as I said that, I noticed what? The Klingon forehead. And I don't know why, but I'm going to keep bringing this up because it bothers me. Women, black women, my sisters, stop with this weave in your head, these lace front wigs, because it destroys your hairline. You see that? That's about maybe from my eyebrows to up here, that's about a good 2.5 inches. That's about a good 2.5 inches. That's just, I mean, just from here to here, it's about 2.5 inches. I wish I had a ruler or something in here or tape, man. I'm going to measure it and just show you what the average hairline should be. Hers is about what? About 7.5, 7 5/8. She got just too much forehead. And the reason why is because all that hair is being snatched out from the lace fronts, from the glue, the tracks, the tight box braids, the B-box braids, the hot box braids, and all that other shit they put in their head. Stop it, please. Wear a fro. Wear natural. Even if you got to do the west side ponytail off to the side, just keep it natural. Do your thing. Do you. If y'all can make hair weave popular, y'all can make natural hair popular. Because at the end of the day, dudes gonna fuck no matter what. You can clearly see that. So don't think that, oh, well, because I got this, I get more attention. Nope. Dudes gonna see you and they gonna sleep with you no matter what. So stop with the convertible hairline. Keep the top down. You always have to have the top back. Keep the top down. Hashtag keep the top down. Close the convertibles. Jesus Christ. All right, my rant is over.
Bovic is live in Miramar tonight with this story. Sanella.
And Frank Ordonez's stepfather says that police...
And look at her hairline. Now, she hit about 4 inches. But it's all natural. Ain't nothing taken out. Ain't no traction alopecia. I don't even know what the fuck traction alopecia is. But just, she's natural. That's all it is. She doing her thing. Y'all do y'all thing. Don't have to be, it just don't have to be the way that it is. Make that change. Just make that change. Look at the bitch in the mirror. I'm asking her to change her ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, stop wearing that weave and just make a change. Yeah, woo, woo, na 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 na. Oh.
Could have handled this situation differently, and had they done so, maybe his stepson might still be alive today. He tells us that his family is now seeking justice.
Look, y'all get y'all some tape measures while the show is going and measure y'all hairlines and put it in the chat. Y'all get a tape measure, get your measuring tape, go from the top of your eyebrow to the hairline and put your hairlines measurements in the chat, please. Let's establish a baseline of what a hairline should be on average. Let me see what y'all hairlines is. Let's see that distance between the top of the eyebrow to the hairline. Let's put that in there. Let's get that forehead measurement.
This is murder. This is murder. They could have stopped it. They could have prevented it. It could have been avoided. Frank was trying to escape.
UPS delivery truck driver Frank Ordonez's stepfather speaking out after a stepson was killed in a police-involved shooting Thursday.
It seems to me that it was a free-for-all.
Claiming police should have handled the situation differently.
We want accountability. We want changes. We want to know why wasn't the local police securing the area? Why didn't they wait for SWAT? Or what happened to the hostage negotiator? Where are the snipers?
Former president of the Miami-Dade Police Union weighing in on This Week in South Florida.
The sharpshooter, or sniper as we call them, they have to have time to set up. This unfolded at that moment in time, in seconds. A sniper would have never been able to set up that quickly, or SWAT for that matter.
The police officers themselves, the men and women, are being incredibly brave by going into the fire.
Investigators say this all started.
Okay, so let me address this part. Number one, as far as, because a lot of people have said this, well, where was SWAT? Where was HBT? How come they didn't show up? How you could have had them come out there? Here's the thing about that. So SWAT can always be deployed no matter what. You can always deploy SWAT. However, usually the SWAT team ain't sitting up in the ready room waiting on a call. SWAT is usually a bunch of guys that are actually officers, and they're working whatever shifts that they're working, and they usually will take on SWAT as an additional detail. And essentially what that is, hey, you go be police, you go do your thing, you out doing whatever. On your off days, you off. Whatever it is you doing, you live your life like it's golden and work your regular shift. When you get the SWAT call, then you assemble. So you can be at the grocery store, you could be on the job, you could be anywhere and get that call. Once you get that call, then you have to get your shit, you have to get all your gear, and then you have to either meet at that place where y'all get suited up and get situated and all that good shit, or you guys are gonna, if you have something when you know it's a planned mission or deployment or whatever, then you will meet like at the police station or whatever and get all your shit together and get in your vehicles. But usually in a situation like this, you can't wait for SWAT. You can't wait for a sharpshooter or anything like that. The only thing you can hope for at best is that those guys are on the streets already and they respond to this call. That's it at best. At best. You cannot wait for them to get there and to get together because of what's going on. Now, my thing is this. Because I don't, from what I've seen, they were fired upon, which gave them the green light to shoot. But I don't think that they should have, because of two things. You have a hostage on board in that vehicle. That UPS guy, he's a hostage. And then you are surrounded on the highway in rush hour traffic by innocent civilians. Now, do sometimes civilians get shot in shootouts? Absolutely. It's collateral damage. It just happens. But as a police officer, you're talking about 13 police officers, which equals to 13 guns shooting at this UPS truck. Because of these two niggas, I get that. But you have 13 guys shooting at this police car. At this truck. And those 13 police officers, that's a lot of bullets. You have to realize that. And here's the thing. How many bullets does it take to kill somebody? Whether it's the bad guy or an innocent, right? One. How many bullets are you responsible for as a person or police officer that leave your gun? You're responsible for each and every last one of them. So my thing is this. If I'm in that situation, because everybody was saying, police officers will say, man, you weren't there, man. You don't know, man. You had to be in the fight to know what. I get it. If I'm in that situation, I'm not gonna be quick to shoot because of the totality of circumstances and the environment that I'm in. What's one of the rules of firearm safety? Be aware of your target and what is beyond it. And in this situation here, you have too many variables, too many innocents. What do? Here's what you do, because somebody's also going to be watching and see, what the fuck were we supposed to do, man? We were in the fucking war, man. It was a fucking war zone out there on the highway. Here's what you do. Just like when they have their certain states and certain police departments that will not pursue people that go on high. They don't pursue speeders. And pretty much what that means is, hey, I got a small town or I'm in a city or whatever, and I'm speeding. Police hit me with the lights. What I do? I go from 80 to 120. I'm flying. You know what the police will do? They won't chase. They will not pursue. They won't pursue, and here's why they won't pursue. Because what could happen from that pursuit, and what usually happens from that pursuit, is either somebody gets hurt, a fuck ton of property gets damaged, or somebody else gets killed, or the driver himself gets killed. Now, people say, well, it's not the police officer's fault. Yeah, you're right. But let's look at it like this. If I pull somebody over and I want to write somebody a fucking ticket, that's at best going to be a couple of $100, at worst license suspension. Is it worth that person dying from them trying to get away from me? No, it's not. A life is not worth a fucking speeding ticket or a license suspension for speeding. Is it worth someone else dying because they're standing on the corner, they're watching it go by, they're sitting in their car at the stoplight obeying the traffic signal, and this dude tries to do a swerve in and out and winds up hitting that car, hurting or injuring that person? It's not worth it. Is it worth this guy driving, speeding in his 5.0 Mustang, and he hop a curb and run into a house and kill a kid that's playing his PlayStation, playing Call of Duty? It's not worth it. So when you look at what it is you're stopping somebody for, and what it is that could actually be the fallout from that, the whole totality of the circumstances, it's not worth to pursue, which is why a lot of police departments don't pursue speeders. They don't do high-speed chases. This instance right here, like I said before, when you talk about a decision that you make and the trickle-down effect of what happens subsequently after that, backing off this guy or this truck, once you saw it heading into traffic, was the point to where you make the decision to where you could change the outcome. What's the worst case scenario that can happen? These guys get away and you're looking for them. Here's the thing. They're already wanted for robbery. They were already wanted for another robbery. So this is what they do. So these guys here, they don't have shit to lose, which is why they did what they did. But that's hindsight as far as you knowing that. But here's the thing. You chasing them, you and your guys, y'all going after this guy. You see that he's on the highway and you see that there is you see that this is rush hour traffic or there's a traffic jam. Back off. Call it off. Let him go. Don't pursue. What probably could have happened? Those guys got in a traffic jam. They could have gotten out and it could have went two ways. They could have got out and ran. They could have got out and carjacked somebody else and drove off. Or they could have just gone away and you would have still been looking for them. However, if it does go left, because somebody's going to say that, well, what if they would have carjacked somebody else and killed that person? That's them, and you aren't provoking that situation. These two are the fucking bad guys, no matter what. They're the assholes, no matter what. The shit essentially falls on them. However, you don't want to be the gasoline that you pour onto the fire. You don't want to amplify the situation even more, which is what the police did. You let these bad guys be bad guys, and you got to get them when you can. But you don't add to that situation by just saying, well, we got to follow. We got to go get them. We got to go get them. And a lot of police officers get in that mentality. I don't want them to get away. I can't let them get away. I get it. I don't want them to get away either. But at what cost do I not want them to get away? Is it the cost of somebody having a fender bender? Is it the cost of somebody dying? Is it a cost of everybody dying? Is it a cost of some? Because this, I'm going to tell you right now, had that shootout resulted in a kid dying, whoo-wee. This was just and it's like the fact that this UPS driver died, he didn't have to die. Yes, the bad guys did it, but you kind of force the situation with 13 of your guys closing in on these fucking guys who don't have shit to lose. They already done put it on the line. Now what are they gonna do? They gonna bang out. Top of the world. Made it, ma. That's what they gonna do because they have nothing to lose. And then you talking about, so you say 13 guys, and let's just say you got 13 guys times average magazine is anywhere between 15 to 17 rounds. So let's just say 15. Let's be generous. Times 15. 195 rounds. So you're talking about some 200-odd bullets potentially being fired in this shootout. Not counting the bad guys' guns. That's another possible 30 shots. So you're talking about some well over 230 shots that can potentially be fired in this situation. Here's the question that you ask yourself as a police officer. Do I want to have 200 bullets fired right now on the highway with all of these cars in the middle of a fucking traffic jam? No. You don't. Can I really say it's logical, it's safe, it's the best possible circumstance? Because sometimes you're in a situation where you gotta shoot. But can I say that here? Could I back off, let the choppers go, and follow these guys as best we can? Say, hey, call all police cars, all units, back off. Let the choppers sort it out. If we can pick them back up off the highway, we will. Back off. I don't want to shoot out here. That's what the sergeant, that's what the lieutenant, that's whoever's in charge, that's the call that should have been made. Well, Sarge, they're shooting at us. Back the fuck off. Yes, I know they're shooting at you, Jonesy. Back off, because I know where this can go. Because you done got shot at, what you want to do? You want to shoot this motherfucker now. And God forbid if somebody out there with an AR-15, you letting it ride. So you don't want that to go, because a bullet can ricochet and hit somebody. It can go through somebody and hit somebody. It can go through UPS vans. Man, them little walls on them vans are thin as shit. You got some FMJs going through there. FMJs are full metal jackets. That's basically a bullet that has a closed tip. It's all metal. You got some FMJs going through there. That's going to pierce right through. Some green tips going right through. Or whatever you got. But there's too many different variables to where people can die. I don't know right now. I don't know how it was just the driver and these two assholes, and the other innocent guy that got killed. I'm surprised there weren't more people that got shot in this situation. I really am. I'm really surprised. But let's keep going.
Started after Lamar Alexander and Ronnie Jerome Hill robbed the Regent Jewelry Store in Coral Gables. 67-year-old Liliana Sardi, an employee working at the time, was injured during the robbery. From there, police say the crooks tried to make their getaway, carjacking and kidnapping Ordonez, leading police on a chase from Miami-Dade County into Broward, firing at officers. Police moving in once the UPS truck was at a stop. Shots rang out. The two suspects, along with Ordonez and Richard Cutshaw, a man sitting nearby in his car, were killed as bullets went flying. Now, as the investigation continues with a multitude of unanswered questions,
a sad but tragic opportunity is an impetus to compel us to take a hard look at how we're going to handle these situations.
Ordonez's family will be looking for one thing:
justice. And that's all we're seeking, is justice.
And a viewing for Frank Ordonez will be held tomorrow in Miami. He will be laid to rest on Tuesday. That's the latest heard of Miramar. Sinella Sabovic, Local 10 News.
Wow. Wowzers. So it's a thing of saying, when you see that UPS truck being shot up, you also see Frank trying to get out. Now, if I'm a police officer, I've taken fire, I've taken some bullets, they've gone my way. Am I really trying to shoot up a truck that has somebody in it? And here's my thing too. You can't say, well, they didn't know if Frank was on there, not if Frank was in on it. Exactly. If I see a FedEx truck going down the highway, I'm going to think probably that there's a FedEx employee on it. And is it a roundabout, outlandish way that he could possibly be involved? Yes, but I'm not going to risk his life or the lives of other people trying to say or trying to figure that out, or thinking the worst case scenario. Because if the police say, well, we thought he was in on it. Bullshit. So it's like you shooting up this truck because these guys are shooting at you, but what about the guy on the inside? That's just like when in that Orlando mass shooting. How they talked about the amount of people that were shot by the police because of the dude that was shooting inside, and they went in there to get that guy. They were shooting at innocent people. They were shooting and killing innocent people. Now, they put all that shit on the shooter, but that wasn't the case. In a situation like that, you have a dynamic situation where a guy is actually killing people in the moment. You have no choice in that situation, because you can't let the shooter have his way, because if he does, he's going to do the same thing that you're potentially going to do anyway, which is kill everybody. So in that situation, in my opinion, the police would be justified in going in, and if they shoot some innocents, they shoot some innocents because you're trying to stop the bad guy with the gun. Because the bad guy with the gun has the purpose of shooting everybody that's in this place. In this situation, the bank robbers are trying to get away. They are trying to elude and evade the police. Two different scenarios. However, you still have innocents that are getting harmed or getting killed in that situation. Just like the shooting that happened, this happened in California as well, where you had the mentally ill guy who was threatening to stab a lady, and the police were taking too long to shoot, and he wound up getting a hostage. They're trying to talk him down. He got a knife, and they're trying to talk him down. He then is moving along an apartment building. The lady comes out to see what the hell is going on, what the commotion is. He then grabs her, and then he begins stabbing her and forces the police to shoot him and her. They killed them both. So there are times where you can't fuck around and you just got to take the threat out. And then there are times where you have to understand the totality of circumstances where there are people who are potentially going to get hurt, but you have to jeopardize that and put them at risk because of the person who is intentionally there to hurt people. Then you have people that are literally just trying to get away. And that's what happened here. They were literally trying to get away. The guys were trying to go home. And no, you don't always get to go home, but that's what they were trying to do. That's exactly what they were trying to do. So let's check out this next one.
New information from the FBI tonight. They say two men who robbed a jewelry store, hijacked a UPS van, and got into a deadly shootout with police were already wanted for two heists near Miami. Police towed away the bullet-riddled UPS van today. The suspects were killed, as was the UPS driver and a 70-year-old man in another car. As Manuel Bojorquez reports, there are questions tonight about the overwhelming use of force.
The dramatic shootout that ended the 23-mile chase involved 19.
Boom. Did you see that? You see how many units are following this truck, and that's where they could have called it off.
The dramatic shootout that ended the...
Right there. You don't have anybody on either side. I mean, on the other side. You see where they're heading. So it's not like they don't know what they're getting into. You can see the traffic jam coming. Right there is where you call it off, or you go all in and you ram the shit out of that truck to get it to stop or to get it to capsize, or not capsize, that's a boat in the water. But you get it, you ram the van or the truck to try to get it to off-road. You trying to get it to tip over to stop it from getting to traffic. That's where you make your last stand. Because once they get into traffic, you got to fall back. You gotta fall back. This is where you say you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let me make sure. 9, 10 units, possibly 11. That's a gray one. I don't know, but you got 10 units chasing them. Trust me, we can sacrifice a car or two or an SUV or two trying to ram this car off this UPS truck off the road. Yes, pit maneuver. Thank you, sir. That's what you want to do right here, right now. Because what's going to happen is I want to pull up. Here's what I want to do. I want to pull up along the right side of this vehicle, and I want to have this vehicle either turn over on its side or run into them palm trees right there, because that's going to trap the vehicle. It's going to keep it from crossing over. This is where you make that move. This is where you stop and you pull out all of this. You do some bad boy shit. This is where it goes down. This is where you should have made your stand.
23-mile chase.
Oh yeah, and there's another. It's a good 13, 14 cars out here, easy. And those guys are literally following them at a safe distance. You pull up and you floor that goddamn car, get right behind it, and you ram that joker, whatever you gonna do. If you don't want to do that, then you fall back altogether. They shooting at us. Then you fall back.
Involved 19 police officers from at least 4.
Now you're making that stand here. And what do you see? First thing you see right here, that's a civilian car. That's a civilian van. That's another civilian car. That's a civilian car. You got at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 civilian vehicles just on this side of that truck alone. That's at least 5 people, easy, not to mention if there are other passengers. You got 5 drivers of 5 vehicles that are in danger of losing their life right now.
4 different departments. They opened fire when the gunmen shot at them, leaving drivers and runners.
There you go right there. What do you have? A civilian on the ground trying to get out of the gunfire exchange.
Showered traffic panicked and scrambling as police took cover behind people's cars and trucks.
And here's my thing too. As a police officer, what's one of the first things you do when you hear gunfire, when you see somebody pulls a gun? First thing you want to do is what? Take cover. If you can, you want to take cover. People don't know that. Civilians don't know that. They don't know when people start shooting what you do. What do most people do when they start hearing gunshots? Well, nowadays they pull out their goddamn phones and try to record it. But most people in normal circumstances, they what? They run away, making themselves a target of crossfire or making themselves a target, period. They try to run away. Only police officers are trained to take cover, get behind an engine block, because they know that's cover. Cover, then concealment. Everybody know the difference between cover and concealment? Cover means a bullet can be stopped. You're in cover, that means what you are behind or what you have in front of you, that means that it will stop a bullet. Concealment means it hides you as a target. That's it. It hides you. Case in point, standing in front of an engine. That's cover. Being in front of a door, that's concealment. Drywall, that's concealment. Brick wall, that's cover. Okay?
At the end, the 2 men who police say robbed a jewelry store and hijacked the UPS truck were killed. But so was 70-year-old Richard Cutshaw, who was waiting in his car at the intersection, and the UPS driver who was taken hostage, Frank Ordonez. Ordonez was father of 2 daughters, ages 3 and 5. His stepfather criticized the officers' actions.
And that is the bad thing in this. And I know that this may sound bad, and I understand that everybody has somebody that's a loved one. Everybody loves somebody. Everybody got family members and all that. But you're talking about a 70-year-old man. That's a dude who's lived a great portion of his life. He's in the fucking 2-minute drill of life, right? He got another maybe 10 to 15 years left. This young dude had not only 2 daughters that he's trying to raise, but he was a young man as well. I think this dude was in his mid-20s. That's all I'm saying. He has lost, and those people who've lost him will suffer a great deal more than a 70-year-old man. Yes, that 70-year-old man is probably a grandfather and has a wealth of knowledge. I'm not saying his life is not of value. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying that he's lived a life. Frank Ordonez was just beginning his with 2 little girls. And we don't know that as police officers. You don't know that. Police officers aren't thinking about that, but you should just be thinking about the lives that are at stake, period. That's what a trained professional does. And that's why this is just a huge, as Trump would say, it's huge opportunity to prove the point that these police officers are so undertrained. They are lacking training. period. Those 13 police officers that were involved in this shooting, their intention was not to kill 4 people or for 4 people to die. That was not their intention. Their intentions were to stop 2 bad guys that committed a fucking crime. However, because of lack of training and because of poor decision making, that's where we're at now.
They disregard the hostage. They disregard for the people around the scene. They went out there like the old West.
Miami-Dade's police director explained why officers had to move in on the suspects.
These individuals weren't showing that they're just fleeing. They were violently confronting officers, shooting at them.
And he has a point. Yes, these 2 guys were like, fuck it, we going at them. Why? Because they were cornered. Their backs were against the wall, so they came out swinging. They had no other choice. Just imagine this. Just think about this from the bad guy's perspective. So we committed this bank heist, this jewelry heist. The police are on us. We didn't hijack this motherfucking truck, UPS truck, which is a bad fucking vehicle choice. We've hijacked this truck. We're driving. We're trying to get away. We've already shot at the police in transit. Now we've hit a traffic jam. I'm already wanted for a previous robbery already. Jail is inevitable. At the least, I'm going to go back to jail. Now, what do I have left to lose? I have nothing left to lose. I don't care about my life because my life is already over. I'm cornered. It's 15 fucking police cars behind us, and they've now surrounded us in traffic. What other recourse do I have? You're talking about 2 41-year-old well-seasoned criminals. Well-seasoned criminals. They're gonna say, fuck it, let's bang out. And that's exactly what they did. I got a gun, you got a gun, let's go at these police officers and show these motherfuckers what time it is. Not to be fucking with Deuce. That's exactly what they did. And that's why you don't put them in a corner like that. That's why somebody should have been thinking about that piece to say, well, you know what? We don't want to corner these guys because they've already shot at us. That means they're willing to die they're willing to die in this situation right now by doing that. And if they're willing to die, that means other people could possibly die from their actions because they have no remorse. They have no cares about lives being lost at this point because they forfeited their own, essentially. Daquan said, I have a question. I just saw this. I have a question. What does it take? Why does it take so long for officers in a chase won't go ahead and pit or ram the UPS truck? Are they waiting for some type of clearance or jurisdiction territory-wise? Why, I got you. So, Daquan, it's like this. This is a situation where it's hard to navigate through this because it's in the moment and you don't know who's in charge. And that's why you got to either be listening to a supervisor that's there or that's on the radio telling them what to do, or somebody just literally has to take they have to have the know-how to just take charge to say, I'm going to ram this fucking truck. That's just like in that shooting that we saw where those guys were out driving and those police officers were shooting through their windows and shooting out the windows like they were in fucking Bad Boys, literally, like in a fucking Jerry Bruckheimer movie. And they were shooting at this guy and they were going back and forth and they shot some fucking 70-odd rounds at this guy. They decided that. They weren't instructed to do that. They made the decision to do that. So it's like when you're talking about that kind of thing, that's what it is. That's what happens. Make sure that y'all click the like button and click the subscribe button. Click the damn like. But that's what happens. So it's a thing of having, if you have the training, then you would think, I'm going to pit this fucking truck. We got to pit this truck now before it gets into traffic. That's exactly what they would have done had they been thinking ahead. However, when you got people shooting at you, it's kind of hard to decipher some of that shit out when you're not trained to do so. And that's where I got into the training piece to where it should be. We don't chase And if we are chasing, we have to pit as ASAP before we get around civilians or in a residential neighborhood. And that's why I pointed out before where that pit would have been perfect to do it. Because you don't want to pit a vehicle in a residential neighborhood where kids are getting out of school at 2:30 in the afternoon. You don't want to pit in that situation, because even after you pit, now you have to arrest. So it's like you don't want to do that in that situation, but there was nobody there who literally had the foresight to go and do what it is you're asking about why they didn't do that. So that's exactly what it is.
Manny Orosa, who was Miami's police chief from 2011 to 2015, questions the tactic given the number of civilians and the hostage.
2011 to 2015, that was a short fucking run. 4 years? Yeah, okay.
What I was looking for was for someone to be able to stop all those cars, get all those people out of the cars, evacuate them to safety.
But if the suspect...
I see why this motherfucker was only there for 4 years. How the hell can you do that? And see, this is my thing too. So this motherfucker was a police chief, but I see why he ain't got that job no more. Because that was dumb as shit. You can't do that. Here's the thing. He's saying I was looking for them to get the people out of the cars and get those people. How can you do that and you already have these guys shooting at you already? You can't go out there and tell the robbers, hey, robbers, time out. We want to get these civilians out of here. Then we'll get back to y'all. And we got SWAT on the way. Hang tight. Everybody that's in a car, can I have your attention, please? Everyone in a motorized vehicle that is within a 200-yard radius of this UPS truck that is shooting at us, can you guys please exit your vehicles and run away from this area? I need everybody to do that now. Thank you. There's no fucking way possible that you can charge the police with trying to get all of those fucking people that are in those vehicles doing rush hour traffic or doing a fucking traffic jam out to safety. Impossible. That's a fucking no-brainer, dude. There's no way possible that they can do that. And now, if that was a guy who was on suicide watch, he's sitting there with a gun to his head talking about he gonna kill himself, and yeah, then you can do that. This is an active situation. You have a dynamic shootout happening in the moment as they roll into traffic. Gunfire is already taking place. I can't get out and start getting people out of their cars. I'm gonna get fucking shot. Dumbass. Just doesn't make any sense. And then you're gonna say that and you're a fucking police officer. So that's somebody who's literally just trying to talk shit, essentially. I don't know if he mad because he got fucking fired or didn't get elected again, but that makes no sense whatsoever. There's no way possible a police officer could have gotten those people to safety during a fucking active shootout. The fuck out of here. The fuck out of my face. I think I'm gonna start using that. Get the fuck out of my face. I'll fuck you in my face on the internet, but you get the point.
or suspects are opening fire, shouldn't the officers try to neutralize them?
You should take cover. If you're shooting into a truck and you don't have a clear vision of who you're shooting at, you just don't shoot at the truck.
It is still not clear who...
Now that, to his point, is true. If you cannot see your target, and you know that there is a civilian that is being held hostage, you don't shoot into that truck. Yes, these motherfuckers are shooting at you, but you don't shoot at the truck. You just don't. There's no reason for you to do that. Over here on the United Guns of America, Lorenzo Davis says SWAT is better known as hired assassins. Dude, that don't even make sense. Hired assassins. They're already working. They're already working as police officers. They're not hired assassins. They are there. SWAT is there to absolutely neutralize the situation or the threat. And they try to do that by hostage negotiation, or in some cases, there is a neutralization of the threat to where somebody dies to keep them from harming themselves. To keep them from harming other people. It happens. Come on now.
Who fired the shots that killed the UPS driver and the innocent bystander? A complete investigation could take months, even years. The 13 Miami-Dade police officers involved in the shooting are on administrative leave tonight, which is routine during these types of investigations. Nora?
All right, Manny, thank you.
Now, I tell you right now, if you was a criminal, now'd be a good time to commit a crime in that area with 13 police officers on admin leave. Them shifts are thin than a motherfucker, boy. Go get it. No, I'm just bullshitting, but that shit is over now anyway, probably. This was a couple weeks ago. But I'm just saying, you had to put 13 people on admin leave because you had 13 people shooting. And a lot of times what happens in those situations, you have people that are literally shooting their gun because other people are shooting their gun. That's just what it is. And it's like, if I'm in that situation, number one, first and foremost, this is definitely, in my opinion, an AR-15 situation. Because you want as much precision as you possibly can. And that's one of the benefits of an AR-15. Precision, stopping power. Most people that suffer a center mass shot from an AR-15, 223, 5.56 bullet, they usually DRT. Usually that's what's going to happen. The damage in the wound cavity from those types of bullets coming with that velocity, they usually create enough havoc to where you DRT. Shooting a handgun can be effective with a well-placed shot. However, people usually can take those shots and they can usually say, hey, I took one or two, depending on where they at, and I was still able to keep going. Lorenzo said, Brian, I'm from Los Angeles. When SWAT was called, someone was going to die. They did the job what regular patrol cops cannot do. That's not necessarily the case, Lorenzo. SWAT is just basically more geared towards tactical approaches to hostage, barricade, and terrorist situations. That's what they do. It's not a thing to say that they there to kill motherfuckers. That's not what they there to do. They are just more trained in those situations. They practice those type of situations so that they can actually execute those situations more effectively and efficiently. Yes, they will use lethal force, absolutely, but they are in those situations because that's what they train to do. That's just what it is. Just like a special forces unit in the military. It's the same thing. It's like you're geared towards just that particular type of thing. If there's a situation where somebody has a hostage, if there's a situation where they have somebody that's barricaded themselves in somewhere, or if there's a terrorist situation or something like that, that's what they are geared to do. Not necessarily to neutralize people, but to execute as an effective team together in that situation. Because it's easier when you have 8 guys that you already practice with, 2 or 3 times a month, and you do the shit for 5 or 6 years, and these guys that you know, you trust, you have camaraderie with, and you guys are all on the same page. You have protocols that you follow, which is why it's a specialized team. It's a tactical unit to have an approach to these type of situations. That's what it's for. So that's why those teams are better suited for these type of situations, because if you had those 13 police officers and 5 guys that was on HBT, or, well, I call it HBT because in Chicago, that's what they call it. They don't call it SWAT. In Chicago, they don't call it SWAT. They call it HBT, which stands for Hostage, Barricade, and Terrorist. And the reason why I know that is because my daddy was a sergeant on the HBT team, in the HBT unit. So that's why I know that. But what they do, you have those 5 guys, that's a team already. They know what to do. They know who's in charge, and they know how to execute better than 13 uniformed police officers that haven't had that particular type of training or that exposure to that training. Because out of those 13 police officers, you could have 3 or 4 of them that have military experience, that they've been in Fallujah for 5 years before they came to the police department. So they have that type of training, but they're not on a specialized team that does just that. So it's a smart thing to have and to do, but it's just what it is. That's just what it is. You have to keep that particular unit, you have that particular unit that's together so that they can actually execute better together. That's all it is. It's like a close-knit team. Shooting with your homeboys. But last but not least, I wanted to like have the father do this the video that has the father in it, the stepfather rather, because I think I like the way that he talked. I like the way that he challenged the whole situation and what happened.
What has the last, 12, 24 hours been like for your family?
She asked, what has the last 24 hours been like?
We haven't slept yet because my wife is devastated. The girls are devastated.
You ain't shit, Carlos.
We're in shock. We still don't believe that Frank's dead. We don't believe that all this that occurred. The way it occurred is to me.
Well, thank you, Lorenzo. I appreciate that. Lorenzo, this first time I'm talking to, reason why I'm talking to Lorenzo is on the United Guns of America channel, so I wanted to pay some special attention over there to those guys, those 19 that's watching. Click the like while y'all over there too. But yes, thank you, sir, for acknowledging that. But like I said, I know what you were saying. I just didn't want it to come across that way to where is people think that SWAT is hired assassins. Yes, they will put a bullet off in your ass and they're not gonna fuck around with you, but that's not their main purpose.
Is negligence. I want to be Frank's voice. He's no. My problem with watching the videos is that if you notice, Frank was stepping from the passenger side, crawling down, in uniform, brown uniform that actually matches the color of the truck he was driving. The suspect was in front of him. There's 30, 40. The truck on one side is riddled with 30, 40 bullets. There's bullets everywhere. This is a war zone. How can this happen in today's day and age? The police was negligent. And I'm not a police officer. I'm not an attorney either. But
David, you ain't shit. He said Woody in the background instigating. Woody giving the side eye like, yeah, I hear what you saying. Pops, I'm with you.
I have common sense, and like we all do. And it shows me, where's the protocol? Where was, in plain daylight rush hour, where was protocol? Where was SWAT? Where was the hostage negotiator? Where was the sniper? My son was on the ground. He had his hands wide open. There was no gun. He had no gun. The suspect was in front of him.
And here's the sad part about this. Frank Ordonez literally is collateral damage. Literally collateral damage. Because those police officers were more focused on stopping those two robbers than they were actually looking out for the civilians or the citizens that they work for, essentially. That's just what this is. There was in my opinion, they disregarded Frank Ordonez specifically because they knew he was in the fucking truck. And here's why I say that. If those dudes would have robbed, or if they would have taken a baby in a car seat hostage, and they would have jumped into that fucking UPS truck, threw Frank Ordonez out, and had been riding with that baby in a car seat in that truck, those police officers wouldn't have fired a fucking shot. If Lamar Hill and Lamar Alexander and Ronnie Hill, or Ronnie Hill and Ronnie Alexander or Lamar Hill, what the fuck is their names? I think it's Lamar Hill and Ronnie Alexander, or it could be Lamar Alexander and Lamar Alexander and Ronnie Hill. If they would have thrown Frank Ordonez out of that car and grabbed that your average blonde white woman and took her hostage on that UPS truck, they wouldn't have fired a single shot. She would have been screaming and crying from the UPS truck, and they'd have had her hanging and her blonde hair blowing out. They wouldn't have fired on their UPS truck. If they would have picked up a black woman named Laquita off the corner of a liquor store and had her in there, they wouldn't have even followed the truck because her inner Terminator would have kicked in and she'd have killed both of them niggas. They would have been dead. She'd have fought the fuck out of them niggas and they'd have got killed. She would have beat their ass and that would have been it. And then they would have had to kill that bitch because that bitch wouldn't have stopped talking and she would have had their guns and they'd have been like, bitch, put the guns down. I ain't putting down shit. Y'all motherfuckers, I killed these niggas. Pow, pow, pow. They had to shoot that bitch. That's all I'm saying. But that's the difference in this. They looked at Frank as collateral damage and essentially was like, fuck it. We going to get him. And that, to me, is the tragedy in all of this, is that y'all could have done better in the escalation of force in this situation. Even though you got fired upon, there should have been a situation where you said, fuck it, we have a hostage on board. We didn't try to pit the vehicle. We didn't want to hurt him. We didn't want to do anything like that. So we had to let these motherfuckers go and hope for the best. Because we didn't want to contribute to people getting shot and people dying. That's essentially what it is. No warning shots. Des James, let me explain something to you about warning shots. Warning shots is TV shit. Warning shots do not exist. You don't fire warning shots. That's some old school shit from the 70s, and they do not do that. There is no sex in the champagne room. There is no such thing as a warning shot. You just don't do it because warning shots do what? Nothing. But it's a bullet that has to go somewhere. You firing a bullet into the ground or you firing a bullet into the air. People don't realize this, but bullets that go up into the air come back down. And those bullets that go up into the air, they come back down. And no, they're not coming back down fired out of a gun, but they do come down with force. And people can get hurt and people can die from a bullet coming back down out of the air. It ain't like a bullet goes up into the air. Once it gets so high and loses its velocity, it bursts into fucking confetti and then falls back down. Or it goes into the atmosphere and comes down as raindrops. That does not happen. So yes, they don't do warning shots. So I don't know if he was asking that as a question or if he was just making a statement, but you do not fire warning shots. Even you as a civilian, if you're in a situation and you have to pull your firearm on somebody, do not fire a warning shot at that person. If you pull your gun, that means you're ready to kill somebody. If not, you keep that smoke wagon holstered. Plain and simple. Do not fire warning shots. Because every bullet that leaves your gun, you are responsible for that bullet. Where it goes, what it hits, what it destroys, or who it kills.
Facing the police with 5 different departments. Coral Gables, Hialeah, Pembroke Pines, Metro, Miami, Miramar. They shot him dead. And this is the negligence that I'm referring to. The negligence, the irresponsibility, the lack of life, the lack of concern, the disregard for life.
And see, that's the thing too. He's collateral damage, but that wasn't the intention. It wasn't the fact that the police didn't care about his life, or we don't care if he live or die. That's not the intention. The whole point of this is that this was a lack of training. They did what they thought was the best thing to do in the moment because there wasn't a guy or there wasn't protocol in place to direct them otherwise. That's exactly what this is. It's a lack of training. It's a lack of execution. It's a lack of leadership in this situation. Plain and simple.
For a victim?
And the reason why I say that is because you could take another 13 guys, another 13 police officers from another department, even in another state, and this shit could be played out totally different. They would not do the exact same thing these police officers did. So all of these different police departments, they're being trained differently. They're executing differently. They have a different approach to this. So it's not like all police do all the same shit. There are standards, But in dynamic situations like this where shit is happening in the moment and you're making those decisions, that's not something where, oh, everybody just does the same thing. Nope. You can go over and you can get 13 police officers from the south side of Chicago and bring them in, and this shit would turn out totally different. You can go get 13 police officers from New York, NYPD, put them in this exact same situation, and shit would turn out totally different. You can go up to Orange County and pull 13 county sheriffs from 13 Orange County sheriffs from that department and put them in that exact same situation. It'd be totally different.
I mean, we've all seen hostage situations where local police surrounds the house, SWAT comes in, there's a negotiator, and either they negotiate a peace and everyone walks away alive. They didn't give Frank that opportunity. See, what bothers me is the fact that the police went home that night to their families, to their daughters and sons, and their wives. Frank's never coming back. Frank is never coming back. He wasn't afforded that right, the right that police is supposed to protect all of us.
So here's the thing, Carlos. I see what the statement that you made. Carlos said, I agree with lack of leadership, but I'm sure they should have known not to engage while a hostage is in play. When you being shot at, it's totally different, dude. If you've ever been shot at, if you've ever been in a shooting, if you've ever been around while people are shooting, it's totally different. Totally different. When people are shooting, people can die. People are dying. People will die. That's just what it is. So it's like you go into a survival mode. I want to stop this guy from killing or shooting people, or possibly me getting shot or somebody else getting shot. I want to stop the threat is where you get into, because you've already been threatened with a bullet or bullets. These guys are two fucking robbers. Make no mistake. They are fucking responsible for this shit, because they motherfucking leveled up by shooting at the police. And then when they got into the traffic jam, they said, fuck it, and we going all out and we banging out.
And they didn't protect him when he most needed it. That's what's frustrating. The FBI, by the way, UPS was there. We were told, because none of the departments would give us any information. We went to the Memorial Regional in Hollywood. There, they told us he wasn't, they couldn't find his name there. Later, we find out the FBI was coming. UPS called every police department, and no one had any information about Frank. So we went there in a wild goose chase. That's a trauma center, so I figured, but I couldn't understand. I said, wait a minute, if it's in Coral Gables, you got Jackson Memorial as a trauma center. We have Mercy Hospital. Why is he here? So I couldn't understand that. I said, maybe we were in the wrong place. We were getting the wrong information. But then the FBI called and said, we're on our way. And there's details that I can't reveal. I hope you understand. They're still under investigation. There's a lot of confidentiality, and I'm not going to cross the line as far as giving out information. But they did inform us that he was dead on the scene. And then he's at the Broadway Coroner's office, and once the body's released, then we can release him to the funeral home of our choosing. But I want to stress Frank. Frank was 27 years old. He has a 3- and 5-year-old daughter. That
thank you, QT. I appreciate that.
Dad's not coming back. I want to be. To me, this is not publicity. I'm trying to get a message, and the message is that.
Nah, that's not all the way true. It is some publicity. You want to be on the news, and you want to do these type of interviews because you want to get eyes on this. You don't want this to just be something that's just handled by the department and that's it. You want eyes on this. You want people looking at this. You want me doing reviews and breakdowns on this, because it helps give your entire case traction. Because there is going to be a civil suit filed. There will be some form of a payout from the city, from the police department. They will pay something out for this situation. So you definitely want this to have attention and to get publicity. That's not true. I don't want to call it bullshit, but Yep.
I'm going to be a spokesperson. Frank can't speak for himself. I will, and I'll make sure that everyone knows that this was police negligence. And I'm going to use a strong word, and I hope you don't mind, but it's on my mind all night, and I'm going to use that word: murder. They murder him, and I hope you can understand that and how I feel, because it could have been prevented. It could have been other measures, other procedures should have been handled, as I mentioned earlier.
There hasn't.
He said that's why he pissed you off. That's what pissed you off, because I bet you they planted the guy's bullets in them to cover up the cops shot him. Make no mistake, and that's the thing about the ballistics and the what do you call it? The medical examiner, the forensics from this. It's gonna show, because even planting bullets or whatever, even if those two assholes shot him or the police shot, it's gonna show that where those bullet entry wounds came in at. There's no way to say, oh well, he was just shot by the black guys. Nope. That's absolutely that, and that's why I said there's gonna be some level of some form of a payout. The medical examiner is gonna prove that, and even if they have an additional one done, a private one done, it's gonna show the bullets that he took, and I can show you that, but the bullets that he took, you can see clearly that he was shot by the police. You can see, and I got the footage of the actual shooting. Why not show it? But you can see clearly he was shot by the police. They don't have to plant a goddamn thing and say it was the Warriors did it. They don't have to do none of that shit. You can clearly see that this dude was shot by the police, because these guys were inside and the police was outside, and you can see it happening. They actually got hit. Hold on. This is just a bunch of fucking talking. Let me blow this up real quick and show you this. One time, it's only like 30 seconds of footage, but you can clearly see this happening. So this is somebody from some building somewhere, and you can see in that door, you can see him trying to get out. Their phone is shitty. They should have had an iPhone 11 or a Samsung, but there, you can see that. You see the bullets coming on the side of the truck there? That's coming. You see him trying to get out? That's coming from that. He's trying to get out. There's the asshole bad guy, and there's him. There's Frank. It's clear. The police shot him without a shadow of a doubt. So it's that, and that's why I said it's not a thing of them trying to. I don't see them trying to cover that up. There's no way for them to get out of that. That's inevitable. You have to acknowledge that. There's no way you can say, oh no, they didn't. It was the bad guys. It was Ronnie and Lamar that did it. No way. No way. You see clearly that the bad guy is shooting, trying to get out, and you can see Frank trying to get out, because those bullets are not just coming from one side. That's coming from both sides. So you have police officers literally surrounding that vehicle. They are on both sides. The police cars on that side and the police on this side, they're both shooting at this one truck in rush hour traffic. Which is why I said, you don't make that stand right here. You back off and you let those guys go. Hopefully they don't kill Frank and he can get away, and you let them go and you live to fight another day, and you hope that the choppers follow him and they catch his ass that way. They catch them bad guys that way. But yeah, there's no shadow of a doubt that the police didn't shoot this dude.
Been an official statement saying that it was a bullet from police that killed Frank, but you seem pretty sure. Can you tell me about that?
Look at the videos. Everybody needs to look at the videos.
Right.
And obviously, the suspect, Frank, is lying down behind the suspect. The suspect is shooting at the police, and the bullets, if you look at the 30, 40 bullets that are riddled throughout the truck, you can tell it was incoming.
Yes.
The suspect was pointing to the police was shooting back. So how can the video doesn't lie? Don't believe me. You don't have to believe me. Look at the video, plural, videos. And it's clearly stated.
I'm telling y'all, look, I know I'm an asshole, But that fucking Woody standing there, that shit is like, it's weird as shit. It's like he's standing there, he got this look on his face, like he like, yep. Hey, I don't know what the hell that Arab shit is, but we can get that out of here. I don't know what the hell that's saying, but get it out. Thank you kindly.
It's so obvious that it was a Wild West shooting. They have
And if you're watching right now, please click the like button. Please click the share button. We got 115 people watching. Let's do this.
Guard for rush hour for the people. Someone died, by the way, inside of a car. You aware of that? Someone died within that shooting. So that's why I use words like recklessness, irresponsibility, disregard for human life. They're here to protect us. They didn't protect my son.
And that is not true. The police are not there to protect people. It is not the police officer's job to protect people. I don't know why people are still saying that. That's some shit from the 70s, and it's not fucking true. The police job is not to protect you. It is not to protect people. It is the police are there to literally enforce the law. The laws that are in place, when you break them, it is the police job to apprehend you and to bring you before the court, to where the court will prosecute you and make you pay and determine your fate as far as what your punishment will be for breaking that law. That's what their job is. Stop saying that the police are there to protect and serve. No, they work for your government agency, and they are there to literally arrest, detain, lock up, and investigate people who break the law or potentially are breaking the law. That's what their job is. Stop putting that people's responsibility and their safety, or stop putting the responsibility of people's safety on the police. That's not their job. I'm so tired of people saying that. It is not the police job to save your ass. It is not the police job to protect your ass. They can help save you. They can help protect you, but it is not their job. If the police see somebody stabbing you, they are not there to save you. They are there to stop that person because that person is committing assault and battery. They're committing assault with a deadly weapon. They are there to arrest that person, and if that person doesn't stop, they can shoot and kill that person because that person is breaking the law and is not adhering to the police commands to stop so that they can be arrested. That's what that is. It is not their job to protect and save your ass. No, no, no. Stop blaming the police that. Your personal safety, your safety and the ability to protect your life and to make sure that you keep inhaling and exhaling, that responsibility is one person and one person alone. That is yourself, the man in the mirror. That's the second man in the mirror reference I made tonight. It is your responsibility and your responsibility alone to protect your own life. That's it.
They protected themselves. They went home that night to their families. Frank never came back. And that's the point I'm trying to make.
Can you tell me what Frank was like as a...
And I must admit, this stepfather is definitely well-spoken. He's definitely calm and collected, and he's actually making points. That's why I like this. He's making points. He's not sitting there, and I'm sure that he may feel sad, and that's not really it's not his son, but I'm sure he has emotions and feelings about it. He may even cried a little bit. I'm sure, of course, holding on and protecting and tending to his wife, but he has the testicular fortitude, as Farrakhan says, and he has the just overall logic and just common sense to come before the news media and plead his stepson's case. And I love that. This is a page that all people, especially us black folks, need to take out of this dude's book. You don't have to always get on TV and always get on and act ignorant and yell and say ignorant shit and a bunch of hot key phrases and cry. That's not what you have to do. That is not the way. You don't have to always talk about how he was going to school and he give you the shirt off his back. Sometimes you just need to go out and be clear and concise, answer the questions that are being asked, and keep in mind that, yes, you are speaking on behalf of your passed away or your injured loved one, but that is the point. You want to speak and be the voice for them, not going through the emotional roller coaster of somebody being hurt or being killed. It's not always the proper time for that. There's a time and a place for that. And when you on TV, when you're speaking to the news media, you definitely want to make sure that you get your point across instead of a bunch of crying and wailing and no, oh no, he did nothing to do. Why? And you see, he's dressed appropriately. This gentleman here does not have on a hair bonnet. He does not have on a do-rag with Murray's grease stained in it, even though he has a receding hairline, which I believe his hairline is probably about 9 inches. It looks like he may have some traction alopecia going, but he's yet and still out there conducting himself, dressed fairly decent as a father should be, and he's out there speaking calm, cool, and collected. Not collective, as some ignorant niggas say. Calm, cool, and collective. He's calm, he's cool, and he's collected. That means he has himself together. He has his emotions in check. So he's able to speak and get his point across. Because everybody ain't crying over this dude. Some people like myself, we just want to know what happened. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your story, and you don't have to do that with a bunch of tears and wailing.
He's your stepson, correct? As a stepson, as a father, can you tell me a little about him?
He's a great dad. Frank was 27 years old, but he was a kid at heart. Frank was a homebody. Frank lived for his daughters. He not only took care of them, he was separated, obviously. He lived here with us. We welcomed him with open arms. But very noble young man. And I'm not just...
And I also want to point out too, and I love this, it ain't a bunch of women and kids, ghetto as fuck, standing behind this dude. It ain't a bunch of community activists standing behind this dude. You don't see Jesse out here. You don't see Al Sharpton out here. You don't see all these niggas that's just trying to get some shine standing out here behind this dude. This dude is out here by himself on his own 2 feet. Now, we have seen some of the other ladies going in and out. She outside has the need to text, I guess, and just want to get a little cameo. I don't know. But the person who is clearly the head of the house, who's clearly in charge here, is the father. And I love that. Black folks, take a page out of this nigga's book. Be out front. Be the one speaking. Be the one actually talking and making great speaking points when you have that light on you, when you have the opportunity and the media outlet is at your fingertips. Use it to your advantage.
Saying that because he's dead, that's the way he lived. Caring for everybody. Do you see his decorations?
You see, he's not talking, and you notice too, this is one of the things that women do, especially black hoes when they on TV, all they do is get on there and talk about themselves. I'm so broken. I'm so hurt. I miss him already. Life ain't gonna be the same. I don't know how I'm gonna carry on. He was my backbone. He was my everything. I don't know what I'm gonna do. He ain't said one thing about himself. He's talking about his stepson. He's talking about the type of father he was, the type of person that he was. He's made it all about Frank. Yes, QT, he's very articulate. He ain't out there talking about himself, trying to get sympathy, crying and with a fucking bonnet on, with another bitch or two gathered around rubbing on the back. It's gonna be okay, girl. I don't know how I'm gonna make it, girl. This is just terrible. With a bunch of fucking little kids running around yelling and crying, or you got one on your hip who crying or just laying there. This is his daughter. Where his daughter's at? Nowhere to be found. They're in the house and they cooling out. Because those little girls don't know what's going on. And he could have had them out there, but what did he do? I'm not making it about them, and I'm not using them as pawns. I'll speak about them, but I'm not going to have them out there looking like they ain't got nobody to help them. I'm here, goddammit. I love it.
My wife saw it at Walmart, and the box was too big for the trunk of her car, and Frank went and got it for us as a surprise last Saturday. So, and plus the decorations with his mother and inside the house. Christmas to him with the girls and the family was everything, just like my wife. And now there's no more.
Yeah, her young ass out here, she just trying to get some fucking shine. Somebody needs to be like, bitch, take that blanket off and get the fuck back in the house. Ain't no reason for your ass to not just be outside, but to be right there where the camera's at. Take your motherfucking ass out the other door. Look at that motherfucking house. That's a nice size house. Motherfucker got 2 big double doors. Bitch, I know it's another door somewhere or a backyard somewhere where your ass can go text. You do not have to keep coming in and out. But you see my point. That's what women do. They want the shine. They want the attention. They want it to be about them. Take your motherfucking ass in the house or take your ass in the backyard and text or get you some fresh air if that's what you need. You do not need to be out here while your stepfather, or if that's your father, speaking about Frank. Period. Stay in your lane.
Christmas. Frank is the type of dad that would go out of his way for his daughters, feed them, bathe them.
It looked like Woody sitting there like, like I was just thinking that shit. That's how Woody look.
Give him everything at his disposal financially. And he was a homebody. Frank wasn't a drinker. He wasn't a smoker. Frank was a homebody. He worked hard at UPS. He worked on the preload. And by the way, I know the terminology and I know the history because I spent 23 years. I'm a retired UPSer. So I know the insights. And again, the HR and the center manager were very gracious.
And look, he's even pubbing where he used to work. He's even putting them on the other side of this. He's even putting UPS on the other side of this. He don't owe UPS shit. He could say it was UPS that got him shot. He putting UPS on the other side of this.
But from the point that your starting point, he started in the preload. He was loading trucks in the morning. He became a cover driver, 5 years seniority, and he was up come January. He was going to have a route, meaning a consistent route instead of having a coverage. He was a cover driver, meaning that a swing driver. You cover routes when someone's on vacation, someone's sick. Yeah, fill in. Yeah, but noble young man, very humble, very mature, very responsible for his daughters. And now, what do? I mean, we have to help out the mother. Obviously, we will. But this was unnecessary. This is avoidable. And I keep pointing to these key words that I'm using because they hit home. And I want to be the spokesperson. I want to make sure that everybody understands what Frank was all about. I want everybody to understand that this should have never happened. Police acted wrongly.
Negligent. They were negligent. That's the word you want to use, not wrongly. Is wrongly a word? I don't know. Somebody look that shit up. Is wrongly a word? Let me know. I don't think I've used that word before. Wrongly. WRONGLY.
Again, negligence is the word.
I guess my last question, seeing now people, are rallying around your family, they want to reach out to you guys. For example, this funeral home, I know I just told you, but, wants to donate funeral services. What is that? I know it's still probably early to process, but what is that like, seeing all of these people reaching out?
I'm not a negotiator. Negotiate with the mother. I'm not surprised.
Wrongly is a word. Wrongly accused. You're right. Thank you. That's the wine.
The human kindness. Even my wife's boss texted me earlier. They're putting together some kind of foundation. Publix is.
God damn, Jazzy, calm down. She like, do you read, nigga? Yes, I fucking read. I just didn't know. I had a moment. Shit, get off my ass. Do you read?
Put together a foundation to help out with the cost. We're leaving a 3 and 5-year-old. He's leaving behind. Frank's not coming back. But the The response from all of you.
Y'all ain't shit.
The response from friends
Not
and family,
everybody.
and what I'm hearing in the news.
Not everybody using this shit in the sentence. These officers murdered these beings, acted wrongly. Yes, you're right. You assholes are wrongly accusing me of not being able to use the English language properly. You motherfuckers. Is that right? I had a blonde moment. Jesus Christ.
Is nothing but positive. They're with us. They understand. They all saw the video. It's obvious. The evidence is there. Don't believe me. You don't have to believe me, but believe the evidence. Believe the videos. And there were plenty angles. So,
look at this bitch. She coming out again. So look, that bitch is actually going out and around and coming in the house and coming back out. Girl, if you don't get your big body motherfucking ass out of here. That bitch thinks she went in and out and came around at least 4 times.
I mean, we're leaving a 3 and 5-year-old. He's leaving behind. Frank's not coming back. But the response from
he said
all
Brian
of you,
wrongly correct.
The response from friends and family and what I'm hearing in the news is nothing but positive. They're with us. They understand. They all saw the
right. That bitch keep coming out for her Uber Eats that she got. This bitch got her Uber Eats, and she keeps circling the fucking news press conference so she can get her goddamn meal. That's what she wait. She waiting on her Chipotle or her she waiting on her Pizza Hut or something. Bitch circling around like a goddamn vulture trying to eat.
video. It's obvious. The evidence is there. Don't believe me. You don't have to believe me, but believe the evidence. Believe the videos. And there were plenty angles.
Look at this bitch. Big bitch.
I'm so
if you don't
grateful
get
for all.
yo burrito, I'm waiting on some fuzzy taco. I'm waiting on some taco bueno, whatever the fuck. Get your ass in the house. They probably in there cooking anyway. It's tamales and everything else in there. Don't call me a racist.
All of you that come out here, I'm so grateful for the public. Society, once again, says...
Right, it's gorditas and everything in that house.
What has the last,
It's all kind of shit in that house. Gorditas, guacamole, smell like cumin and chili powder. It's everything up in there. They got that corn and mayo shit that everybody be liking to eat. All that shit is in there. What the fuck you coming outside for? Get your big ass back in that house. God damn it. But, be that as it may, I just looked at this shooting and this is just one of those things. It's just bad. It's bad all the way around, and it's like nobody wins in this situation. This is just one of those situations where everybody's taking a fucking L. Everybody's taking the L. It's one of those things where you take it back, and the only thing that I can see from this, in my opinion, is the training piece of this is what led us down the rabbit hole. You was already on fuck shit lane. But once you pursue that UPS truck into rush hour traffic, that's when you went off the road and just went over the cliff and into a fiery fucking engulfed flame situation off the road. That's where it got worse. It was bad from the robbery and the carjacking of the truck. It was bad there. Pursuing these guys into rush hour traffic, that's where the fucking bad went to terrible and went to worse, and it nobody wins in that situation. Had someone just stepped up and called them off, we'd probably have a manhunt going on now instead of 4 funerals. And that's the reality of it. If there was one guy in charge, if there was one sergeant, there was a lieutenant, there was a captain, if there was just one badass, a veteran police officer that would have called all of those cars and shit off once they approached rush hour traffic and had everybody fall back, we'd probably be just having a manhunt going on right now as opposed to 4 funerals. Because contrary to what everybody may think or believe or even give a shit about, even those two dudes, Lamar Hill and Ronnie Alexander, or Ronnie Alexander and Lamar Hill, Lamar Alexander and Ronnie Hill. I keep getting their fucking names mixed up. Whatever. They're pieces of shit anyway. But those two guys, I'm sure, had kids. And now they didn't get to go home to their parents. I mean, those kids don't get to have their parents come home. Even though they may be some pieces of shit, they could have had intentions of saying, hey, I'm trying to rob to get some Christmas money for my baby. It's just the thing is where you have that rippling effect of what these bad decisions will make on everybody's part. Everybody's part. So anybody got any questions, go ahead and drop them in now. I know people have been saying shit, but I wasn't able to really follow the chat because I was watching the content so that I could talk and make sure I made my points. But if you got any questions now, please go ahead and drop them in. He said that dude looked like Larry Davis. That's true. He do kind of look like Larry Davis a little bit. Let me see. Noli D said a FOIA request can be made for any agency record. You can also specify the format in which you wish to receive the records, for example, printed or electronic form. Yep. The FOIA does not require agencies to create new records or conduct research, analyze data, or answer questions when responding to requests. That is correct. Yes. Yep. So let's see. Anything else? Go ahead and say it now. I know somebody got something else to say about wrongfully. You wouldn't be Soto Nation if you didn't. But that shit was funny. It's all good, man. I enjoy it. Count it all joy. But yeah, so if you got any questions, go ahead and drop them in there now. Who were the victims in the shooting? The victims in the shooting was the UPS driver, which was Frank Ordonez, and the old guy. I forgot his name. Damn it. Let me see. I got it right here though. Yeah, it's Lamar Alexander and Ronnie Hill. But the other guy who got shot, his name was, I think it was Chuck something. Why does this keep doing this? It's like my whole fucking page is, the page that I was looking at is just like frozen. It's not doing anything. Oh my God. I don't know if somebody else saw it in there. Please put it in there, but it's not letting me scroll down. It's like, I don't know if the page, oh, you know what it is? This goddamn Internet Explorer is crashing. It does that. Yeah. Hold on. Yup, it's toast. Okay, I can't pull it up. But if you go back, I say it in the video, so you can go back and look. Let's see if anybody else got any questions. Why are we up? Sinatria Borders. What the fuck? Whatever. Who were the victims? Yep, that's what I just named. Bystander in traffic. Yes, that was the 70-year-old guy. Stop using Internet Explorer. No, I had to use Internet Explorer, Bina, for a particular reason. There's a video downloader that only works that way, and I just happened to look something up on there, and that's where I had the initial page. But I'm usually a Chrome guy. My secondary is probably Firefox and so on and so forth. But let me go ahead and read these donations, and we're going to get on up out of here, good people. Let's go to the young PayPals. If you like to donate, click the link in the description box, and you can donate. CJ Gunn was so gracious to put the link in there as well. Please feel free to donate to me. All right, here we go. So, first up is Vicky Meeks. Hit your boy up with $2. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's what's up. My man Derek Floyd hit your boy up with $10. That's what's happening. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoy this. I do. I really do. And to Miss Bell, she hit your boy up with $5 as well. Thank you so much. And that's it for the PayPal. We're gonna go on over here to the Cash App, Zcash App, and I got a few people there. All right, let's go. My man Cool G74 hit your boy off with $3 for a nice show, bro. Thank you, man. I'm glad I was able to entertain you guys and hopefully give you some insight and have you look at some things in a different way. And also, my man King Jin hit your boy off with $10. Love the show, bro. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. My man Billy Go Gruff, he hit your boy up with $1. He says, sorry, it couldn't be more going through it right now. Hey, man, it will all get better, and I appreciate you just for coming by, man. If you click the like button, that's all good. I appreciate it, man. That's a donation as well. So let's see who else. My man Eugene hit your boy off with $5 as well. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Got a boy a little change. I can get me a sarsaparilla after this. That's what my daddy used to say. My daddy would always, especially when I was a kid, he'd give me some money. He's like, here, boy, go on and get yourself a sarsaparilla. That's what people call pop back in the day. Yeah, I miss my daddy. But with that being said, I just want to thank everybody for coming by. Click the like button, click the subscribe button. We had about 115 people watching today. That's what's up. I love the fact that you guys stay faithful and y'all tune in. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to Soto Nation. Shout out to my brother Tommy Sotomayor. I hope you're enjoying your time off, brother. I hope that you are doing well and have enjoyed your holiday. Shout out to my brother DJ Just J, who always looking out for me. I appreciate you too, bro. And everybody in Soto Nation and people that are watching for the first time, click the like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for giving me your time and just being able to just share this moment with me. It is very dear to my heart. Thank you guys. I love you all. Shout out to everybody, all my moderators. I appreciate what you guys do. Shout out to everybody who gave some input, asked a question. I really do enjoy that. That's one of the best parts about this is when you guys do have questions, when you guys do make statements, even if it's something we don't agree on. I appreciate it, and that's what this is for, because everybody has different things that they think about. They have different things that they talk about. DJ's channel is the Soto Podcast. So make sure that you go there. Actually, if somebody can post it, I will look for it and I will post it my damn self. But I do like the fact that people actually have just take a moment to actually challenge what it is that I'm saying, because somebody could have a different opinion and I just pretty much just giving mine as well. So it's like, that's what this is about. That's exactly what this is about. It's about us being able to say, hey, this is what we are here to do, is to have a conversation about a particular topic or a particular breakdown with a video, whatever the case may be. That's what it's about. That's what it's for. So make sure that, hey, you guys don't ever feel that you can't say or ask a question, because I ain't on that. I'm all about us basically saying, hey, let's have the conversation. Let's talk about it and figure it out. You say what you want to say, I'll say what I want to say, and we can go from there. Boom. Oh, there we go. They got it up too. All right, yeah. Click the links. That's DJ's channel. He does incredible shows about kids. His whole thing is advocates for children. He talks about a particular subject that I can't emotionally do, because I get too emotionally invested and I will go off into a rant or a tangent. If you look on my channel, you will see the few times I've done videos about kids and about these ain't shit parents that have put their kids in situations to where they've gotten hurt or gotten their lives lost. When they've done things like that, you will see me lose my shit, and I don't like the way I get riled up. I don't think it's appropriate for me to get that emotionally involved, because I think it kind of takes away from the kids. So that's why I kind of stay or shy away from them. I'll do them every now and again, but I don't do them quite often. DJ and Tommy, however, they are fucking pros at this shit. The research and the time and effort that DJ puts into his shows, I have nothing but the utmost respect for. He does his research. He calls, talks to people, pulls up the footage. He does updates. He do it all. If you want to see a quality show and a very good and thorough YouTuber, go to his channel. The AFC Podcast is the name of the channel. Go there, subscribe. You won't be disappointed. I can promise you that. You will not be disappointed. The dude has a great following. He does incredible numbers. Hey, check him out. He does a really good job at being an advocate for children. So go to his website. Go to his YouTube channel and subscribe to his channel. Like those videos, and I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. And he has some good music on his channel too. So with that being said, I just want to say thank you to everybody. We've been here for about an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes, I think. So we're making some good time. I try to stay under the 2-hour mark, so we are on point with that. Everybody, please click the like, click the subscribe. Thank you, guys. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel and comment. Give me your comments. I do read them. They make great toilet time content. I'm dropping deuce. I scroll through and I see those comments. I actually got somebody on there that I need to do a one-on-one with, and I'm gonna try to do that. If not this weekend, then probably the middle of next week, I'm gonna try to do that too. But you guys definitely don't know how much I really appreciate you guys. I thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for taking that time out to click the like and to come by and see me. It really does. It really does just humble me at the support that you guys have given me. I love you all. Peace. And as always, I hope that this video helps somebody become a better version of themselves. I am Brian Redmond. This is the Relationship Rehab and the United Guns of America, where it's always better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Peace, and I'm out. Shout out to my man V-City with this cold ass beat. Go to vcitybeats@gmail.com and get your music life right.